Welcome. This is James Corbett of the Corbett Report with your Eyeopener report for BoilingFrogsPost.com. The modern supermarket is less and less a place to purchase food for the household, and more a war zone where shoppers have to negotiate a minefield of toxic chemicals and additives. From processed foods with their string of unpronounceable ingredients, to the fresh fruits and vegetables saturated in pesticides, to meat and dairy products from industrial farms where animals are raised on a diet of growth hormones and animal waste, to the ever-present and ever-growing danger of GMO contamination of nearly everything, feeding healthy, nourishing food to your family is quickly becoming difficult, if not impossible, through the industrial food system. Perhaps the worst part of this phenomenon is that as specialist stores begin to cater to the demands of their economically comfortable clientele for fresh and organic foods and ingredients, it is the poorest members of society who are increasingly targeted by these health hazards.
There's always lots of nice products standing out at the grocery store. This one caught my eye because it's classy and it's on sale and it's filled with more GMO ingredients per item than just about anything I've seen. Let's take a look at Class Horchata, which is a powdered drink mix. It's got dextrose, sugar, titanium dioxide, maltodextrin, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, which may contain soybean, canola, and or palm oil. It's got skimmed milk powder, artificial flavor, guar gum, silicone dioxide, aspartame, powdered cinnamon, rice flour, acyl sulfame, potassium, andisorbic acid, and caramel color. And that's far too many GMO ingredients, but it's on sale and pitched, I'm going to go ahead and say, to a certain class.
For a generation that has been raised on processed foods and microwave dinners, it may be hard to imagine that any alternative to these products are available. For those who are interested in sourcing healthy alternatives to the chemical concoctions that pass for food these days, there are, as always, a host of excuses for why they can't buck the status quo and say no to the food conglomerates that control so much of our modern food supply. It's too expensive to buy fresh organic foods. It's too time-consuming to prepare foods from scratch. There isn't enough time or space to grow your own fruits and vegetables. Ironically, as more and more people fall through the cracks economically, with a record 47 million Americans now relying on food stamps to help keep food on the family table, the apathy and inertia around these issues is beginning to fade. In the last several years, we have seen a resurgence in the concept of victory gardens and urban gardening generally, as millions of people around the globe begin to rediscover the practicality, not to mention the simple joys, of growing their own food. In fact, as some of these families have shown, the space limitations of urban environments need not be an impediment to the truly dedicated urban gardener.
Drivers whizzing past on the 210 freeway through Pasadena have no idea that a stone's throw away from the fast lane is a lush but tiny Eden, a 4,000 square foot farm. It not only feeds a family, but revolutionizes the idea of what can be done in a very unlikely place, the middle of a city.
This is city living, but I brought the country to the city. Rather than have to go out to the country, I just imported it.
63-year-old Jules Dervais started this backyard farm 10 years ago. It's a deliberate throwback to the storied days of self-reliant rural America. Sustainable and dense. On their 4,000 square feet, they raise 400 varieties of vegetables, fruits, and edible flowers. 6,000 pounds a year, enough to feed themselves with plenty left over.
You've been watching an excerpt of this week's Eyeopener report. To continue watching the report, please log into BoilingFrogsPost.com.